Welcome to online CET class. Let us continue the multiple choice questions on electromagnetic induction. The question is, the inductance of a closed packed coil of 400 turns is 8 millihenry. A current of 5 milliampere is passed through it. The magnetic flux through each turn of the coil is. So we have to calculate magnetic flux. So we know that magnetic flux is directly proportional to electric current. So that equation we can use here. So before that, let us concentrate on the givens. Number of turns is given 400. Self-inductance is given L equal to 8 millihenry, that is 8 into 10 raised to minus 3 Henry. A current that is 5 milliampere, 5 into 10 raised to minus 3 ampere. So we have to calculate magnetic flux. So the suitable equation is, we know that pi is directly proportional to electric current, because whenever magnetic flux changes, induced EMF takes place in the coil, so that electric current is produced. Or we can write it as pi equal to, we can write proportionality constant L into I, where L is self-inductance. For n number of turns, we can write it as n pi equal to L into I. So we want magnetic flux. So pi equal to Li divided by n. So we can use this equation to calculate magnetic flux. So let us substitute the values. Pi equal to, self-inductance is 8 into 10 raised to minus 3. Electric current is 5 into 10 raised to minus 3 divided by number of turns is 400. So we can get 40 into 10 raised to minus 6 divided by 400. Or we can write it as, so 40 ones are 40, 40 tens are 400. So we can get 1 by 10 into 10 raised to minus 6. Or we can write it as 10 raised to minus 6 minus 1, that gives 10 raised to minus 7 Weber. But you can observe the options here. In all the options, absolute permeability is given. So let us write the answer in terms of absolute permeability. So we know that absolute permeability value is 4 pi into 10 raised to minus 7. Or we can write it as mu naught divided by 4 pi equal to 10 raised to minus 7. So let us write pi equal to, so 10 raised to minus 7 means mu naught divided by 4 pi, and the SI unit is Weber. So pi equal to mu naught by 4 pi Weber is the right answer, that is option A. A 100 millihenry coil carries a current of 1 ampere. Energy stored in its magnetic field is, this is the direct question. Energy stored in the magnetic field is given by the equation U equal to half Li square. So here electric current is given 1 ampere and self-inductance is 100 millihenry. Substitute the values here. So L is 100 millihenry, that is 100 into 10 raised to minus 3 Henry, and electric current is 1 ampere. Substitute the values. So U equal to 1 by 2 into self-inductance is 100 into 10 raised to minus 3 into electric current is 1 ampere. So we can get 2 ones are 2, 2, 50 is 100, 50 into 10 raised to minus 3. Or we can write it as U equal to 0.05 joules. So the correct option is option C. Two solenoids of same cross-sectional area have their lengths and number of turns in the ratio of 1:2. The ratio of self-inductance of two solenoids is, in this problem, there are two solenoids. Both the solenoids are having same length and same number of turns, that is 1:2. So we have to calculate the ratio of self-inductance of the two solenoid. See here, number of turns of both the solenoid is the same. N1:N2 is given, that is 1:2. Similarly, their length is also same. Let us take it as L1:L2 is also 1:2. So we have to calculate the ratio of self-inductance of both the solenoid. L1:L2 we have to calculate. So we have the equation for self-inductance, that is L equal to mu naught N square A divided by L. Here mu naught is absolute permeability, it is constant. Area, here cross-sectional area of two solenoid is the same. In this equation, mu naught and A are constant. So we can write it as L equal to only the variables N square divided by L. We want L1:L2. So we can write it as L1 divided by L2 equal to, in place of N square, N1 divided by N2 whole square into 1 divided by L. So L means we can take L1 by L2. So it becomes L2 divided by L1. Substitute the values. L1 by L2 equal to N1 divided by N2 is 1:2. That is 1 by 2 whole square into L2 divided by L1. L2 by L1 is 2:1. That is 2 divided by 1. So we can get L1 by L2 equal to 1 by 4 into 2, or we can get 1 divided by 2. So L1 is to L2 equal to 1:2. So 1:2 is the right answer. Option number, option B. A conducting rod AC of length 4L is rotated about a point O in a uniform magnetic field B directed into the paper. Length of AO is L and OC is 3L. See here, in this uniform magnetic field, this conducting rod is rotating with angular velocity omega. So we can choose the relation E equal to 1 by 2 B L square omega. So this is the suitable equation to calculate the value. So there are two parts here, from O to A and from O to C. So let us take the first case. In case 1, that is for the part AO. For the part AO, induced EMF, let us take it as induced EMF from O to A. So O to A, that means, so induced EMF at O minus induced EMF at A. So directly we have the relation half B L square omega. So B is magnetic field is constant, it is rotating with angular velocity omega, and it is having length L. It is given AO length is L and OC length is 3L. Now in the first case, we got the value half B L square omega. In the second case, for the part 2, for part OC, for part OC, we can write that is E induced EMF from O to C, or we can write EO minus EC. So again the same relation we can use here, half B. In place of length, we can write 3L square omega. Let us take it as equation 2. Now we want from A to C. So we can write, therefore, from induced EMF at point C to at point A, that gives half B. Induced EMF at point C means B, 3L square, 3L whole square omega minus, the first value is half B L square omega, which is at point A, from C to A. So we can get 1 by 2 B 3 L square, that gives 3 square is 9 L square omega minus half B L square omega. The common terms we can take outside, half B L square omega is common, remaining is 9 minus 1. So we can get 8 by 2 B L square omega, that gives 4 B L square omega, right? So 4 B L square omega. See here, we got induced EMF from point C to point A. So that is equivalent to velocity, because induced EMF takes place only when its velocity changes. So the right answer is 4 B L square omega, that is option D. As shown in the figure, a metal rod makes contact and completes the circuit. The circuit is perpendicular to the magnetic field with beta or B equal to 0.15 Tesla. As shown in the figure, a metal rod makes contact and completes the circuit. The circuit is perpendicular to the magnetic field with B equal to 0.15 Tesla. If the resistance is 3 ohm, force needed to move the rod as indicated with the constant speed of 2 meter per second is. Let us observe this diagram here. This is a uniform magnetic field. In this uniform magnetic field, they had given a metal rod which completes this circuit. So resistance is given, its length and velocities are given. So only we need a magnetic force to move the rod inside this magnetic field. When we applied force, this rod starts to move in this magnetic field, so that magnetic flux linked with the rod changes, induced EMF takes place. So now we have to calculate how much force is needed to move the rod into this uniform magnetic field. See here magnetic field is given, that is 0.15 Tesla, resistance is given 3 ohm, and also velocity is given 2 meter per second. And from the diagram, length of that rod is given 50 centimeter, or we can write it as 0.5 meter. See here, directly we have the equation for magnetic force. Magnetic force acting on the wire or on the given rod, which is given by F equal to B square L square V divided by R. So directly we can use this equation to calculate magnetic force which is needed to move the rod inside the uniform magnetic field. So B, L, V and R, all the values are given. Substitute here 0.15 square and length is 0.5 square into 2 meter per second divided by resistance is 3 ohm. So by calculating these value, we can get the final answer 3.75 into 10 raised to minus 3 Newton. So this is the value of magnetic force which is required to move the rod in the magnetic field. So the right option is A. A wire of length 1 meter is moving at a speed of 2 meter per second perpendicular to its length and a homogeneous magnetic field of 0.5 Tesla. The ends of the wire are joined to a circuit of resistance 6 ohm. The rate at which work is being done to keep the wire moving at a constant speed is. See here, length of the wire is given L equal to 1 meter with a speed of 2 meter per second, and it is perpendicular to its length in a homogeneous magnetic field. B is given 0.5 Tesla and resistance is 6 ohm. So the rate at which work is being done, means the work rate means power. So we have to calculate power, that is work with respect to time, or rate of doing work we have to calculate. So directly we have the equation for the power, that is B square L square V square divided by R. So in our regular classes, we already studied about this equation. So B, L, V and R. So all the four terms are given here. Directly you can substitute the value to get the rate at work or the power. Or if you don't know the equation, let us remember the magnetic force required by the conductor. We have the equation BIL sin theta. For maximum force, we can take it as BIL because theta is 90 degree, so sin 90 will be 1 because theta equal to 90 degree. Then F equal to B into the current, electric current in place of I, we have the equation BLV divided by R into L. So we can get F equal to B square L square V divided by R. So we want power. So power means it is given by the relation P equal to F into V. So magnetic force is B square L square V divided by R into V. So we got the equation B square L square V square divided by R. So if you know the equation, then directly you can substitute the value. If you don't know this relation, then you can choose magnetic force, right? Now substitute the values. P equal to B square L square V square 0.5 square into 1 square into velocity 2 square divided by resistance is 6 ohm. So the answer is 1 divided by 6. So its SI unit is watt. So 1 by 6 watt is the answer. So option B is right. A copper disc of radius 0.1 meter rotated about its center with 10 revolutions per second in a uniform magnetic field of 0.1 Tesla with its plane perpendicular to the field. The EMF induced across the radius of the disc is. See here, to calculate induced EMF across the given disc, it is given by a standard equation E equal to 1 by 2 B L square omega. So we have to use this standard equation to calculate induced EMF across the disc. So what is this equation? How we got this equation? Just I will give you brief explanation regarding this equation. See here, let us consider a uniform magnetic field. In this uniform magnetic field, I am going to keep a circular disc. Let us take. So this is a circular disc, center of this disc here. From, let us take from point P to point Q, right? Having length L. See here, it is rotating in this uniform magnetic field with angular velocity omega in time dt, right? Here I am going to consider a small element, that is dx, having distance x from the center, and this small element is also rotating in the same uniform magnetic field here. See here, we know that induced EMF is generally given by E equal to BLV. So for this small element, so small change in the induced EMF, so let us write it as dE equal to uniform magnetic field is the same here. So velocity is V. So length instead of length L, this is not a total length L here. I am going to consider only a small element. So let us take it as dx, right? So B into V into dx, this is for small element, small change in the induced EMF. Now I want a total EMF from P to Q, total EMF induced across P and Q. So for small element, we have the value of small change in the induced EMF. So from total EMF, that is from P to Q, means we have to integrate all the small element. So we can get a total element. So let us integrate that small change in the induced EMF. Let us write induced EMF from P to Q. Means we have to integrate small change in the induced EMF from center of the disk to Q point, that is total length is L. Now let us integrate the value. Integration of small change in the induced EMF is B V into dx from the limit 0 to L. So induced EMF across P to Q. So B is constant. Let us take outside. Integration of velocity V, instead of V I can write it as R omega, or we can take it as X omega for the small element into dx. So induced EMF equal to B, omega is same here, angular velocity. So let us take integration of x from 0 to L, that gives x square divided by 2 from the limit 0 to L. So induced EMF will be half B omega L square, that gives x square, means we can take it as L square. So this is the standard equation which gives induced EMF across the disk. You should remember this equation directly to calculate induced EMF in this given problem. In this problem, radius is given as 0.1 meter. Angular velocity is given 10 revolution per second. 1 revolution equal to 2 pi radian. So we should write in terms of radian per second. So that will be 20 pi radian per second, because 1 revolution equal to 2 pi radian. And magnetic field is given 0.1 Tesla. And the EMF induced across the disk, we have to calculate E value. So we have the equation E equal to 1 by 2 B. Instead of L, we can take it as R square omega. And substitute the values here. E equal to 1 by 2. Magnetic field is 0.1. Radius is 0.1 square into omega is 20 pi radian per second. So we can get the value 0.01 pi, or E equal to 10 raised to minus 2 pi volt. So 10 raised to minus 2 pi, or E equal to pi into 10 raised to minus 2 volt. So option C is correct. A solenoid has 2000 turns wound over a length of 0.3 meter. Its cross-sectional area is 1.2 into 10 raised to minus 3 meter square. Around its central section, a coil of 300 turn is wound. If an initial current of 2 ampere flowing in the solenoid is reversed in 0.25 second, the EMF induced in the coil will be. See here, the first solenoid is having number of turns 2000. At its central section, one more coil is wounded which is having number of turns 300. So we have to calculate EMF induced in the coil. So first we can take down the givens. Number of turns in the first solenoid, let us take it as N1, that is 2000 turns, and having length 0.3 meter. Area is given 1.2 into 10 raised to minus 3 meter square. At its center, one more coil is wounded which is having number of turns. Let us take it as N2 equal to 300. And initial current of 2 ampere. Let us take it as I1 is 2 ampere, which is flowing in the solenoid, is reversed. Reversed means final electric current. Let us take it as minus 2 ampere in the time 0.25 seconds. So I1, I2 value is given, so we can write directly change in current, that is I2 minus I1. So that gives minus 2 minus 2, that gives minus 4 ampere is the change in the current. So using these all given value, we have to calculate EMF induced in the coil. See here, I have two relations related to induced EMF. The first suitable equation is, that is mutual inductance is given by M equal to mu naught N1 N2 A divided by L. This is first relation. The second equation is we want induced EMF. So E equal to minus M into di divided by dt. So using these two equations, we can calculate induced EMF. See here, E equal to minus, in place of M, I can write the first equation, that is mu naught N1 N2 A divided by L. This is M value, into di divided by dt capacities. Now we know all the values, substitute here, so we can get induced EMF. E equal to minus mu naught is absolute permeability, that is 4 pi into 10 raised to minus 7. Number of turns in the first coil is 2000, and similarly for second coil is 300, into area of cross section is 1.2 into 10 raised to minus 3, divided by length is given 0.3 meter, into di by dt, change in the current we got minus 4 ampere, divided by, with respect to time, is 0.25. So E equal to, so minus into minus will be plus, multiply all the values and divided by 0.3 and 0.25. So we can get 0.048 volt, or according to the option we can write 4.8 into 10 raised to minus 4 volt. So the option C is right. The coefficient of self-inductance of a solenoid is 0.18 millihenry if a core of soft iron of relative permeability 900 is inserted, then the coefficient of self-inductance will become nearly. See here, the coefficient of self-inductance with absolute permeability is already given, 0.18 millihenry. When a soft iron core is inserted, which is having relative permeability 900, then we know that self-inductance value changes. So that value we have to calculate. See here, initially self-inductance of a solenoid is L1 equal to 0.18 millihenry, that is 10 raised to minus 3 henry. Then when soft iron is inserted with relative permeability, that is mu r equal to 900, then the coefficient of self-inductance will become nearly, means L2 we have to calculate. See here, I am going to write the relation L1 divided by L2 equal to, see here, we have to observe the givens. Here only permeability value is given, so we can choose the relation mu naught divided by mu r. That means, see here, L1 value is already given with respect to its absolute permeability. Now, when that iron is inserted, which is having relative permeability, so we want L2 value. So L1 by L2 equal to mu naught divided by mu r. Remember, mu naught is constant. So therefore, I want L2 value. So we can write it as L2 equal to mu r into L1. So L2 equal to mu r value is 900 into L1 value 0.18 into 10 raised to minus 3. So multiply these two values. So we can get 162 into 10 raised to minus 3 Henry. Or we can say it as 162 millihenry. So that is option B is right. The self-inductance of the motor of an electric fan is 10 Henry. In order to impart maximum power at 50 Hz, it should be connected to a capacitance of. See here, self-inductance of the electric fan which is connected to the motor is already given 10 Henry. Self-inductance is denoted by L. L is given 10 Henry. Then, in order to get maximum power at frequency 50 Hz, then we have to calculate the value of capacitance. Remember, for maximum power, when power is maximum at natural frequency 50 Hz, then XL is equal to XC. So what are XL and XC? Inductive reactance and capacitive reactance both are equal, so that power is maximum at natural frequency 50 Hz. So XL equal to, we know that omega L, and XC is 1 by omega C. So we want capacitance value, therefore, so we can write it as omega square L is equal to 1 by C, or C equal to 1 divided by omega square L. So this relation we can use to find the value of capacitance. And instead of omega we can write 2 pi f. So 2 pi f whole square into L. C equal to 1 divided by 2 pi square, that we can write it as 4 pi square, into natural frequency is given 50 square, into self-inductance is 10 Henry. So calculate all the value. So we can get 0.1 into 10 raised to minus 5 farad. So we can write in terms of microfarad. So we can get 1 microfarad. So the capacitance value is 1 microfarad. So the right option is D. The mutual inductance of a pair of coils is 0.75 Henry. If current in the primary coil changes from 0.5 ampere to 0 ampere in 0.01 second, find average induced EMF in the secondary coil. See here, mutual inductance for a pair of coil, it is given 0.75 Henry. If current in the primary coil changes, then induced EMF takes place in the secondary coil. So that average induced EMF we have to calculate. See here, mutual inductance is given 0.75 Henry and current changes from 0.5 ampere to 0 ampere, that is a final current minus initial current. So change in current is minus 0.5 ampere and the time is given 0.01 second. So we have to calculate induced EMF in the secondary coil. So we have the direct equation E equal to minus M into di divided by dt. Substitute the values. So minus M value is given 0.75 into di divided by dt. So di value, change in electric current, is minus 0.5 divided by time is 0.01. So we can get, so minus into minus will be plus. So that gives 37.5 volt. So induced EMF in the secondary coil is 37.5, that is option D. A coil of 50 turns is pulled in 0.02 second between the poles of a magnet, where its area includes 31 into 10 raised to minus 6 Weber to 1 into 10 raised to minus 6 Weber. The average EMF is, so we have to calculate average EMF. So first number of turns is given. Let us write N equal to 50 and it is pulled in 0.02 second. Time is given between the poles of the magnet where its area includes, so area here, so where its area includes magnetic flux is given, not area here. So initial magnetic flux is given 31 into 10 raised to minus 6 Weber and the final magnetic flux is 1 into 10 raised to minus 6 Weber. So we have to calculate induced EMF. So we have the equation E equal to minus N into d pi by dt. So directly we can use this equation here. E equal to minus, number of turns is given 50. So change in magnetic flux means we can write pi 2 minus pi 1 divided by current is given, or we can write it as dt. So E equal to minus 50 into final minus initial magnetic flux 1 into 10 raised to minus 6 Weber minus 31 into 10 raised to minus 6 Weber divided by time is 0.02 second. So calculate all these values. So we can get the final value 7.5 into 10 raised to minus 2 volt. So 7.5 into 10 raised to minus 2 volt means option A is correct. A wire of length 50 centimeter moves with a velocity of 300 meter per minute perpendicular to a magnetic field. If the EMF induced in the wire is 2 volt, the magnitude of the field in Tesla is. So we have to calculate magnetic field. So magnetic field means that is B. B we have to calculate. Length is given, that is 50 centimeter, or we can write it as 0.5 meter, and it is having velocity 300 meter per minute. So we should convert in terms of second. 300 meter, so 1 minute means 60 seconds, so we can get 5 meter per second. Then induced EMF in the wire is given 2 volt. Now we have to calculate magnetic field B. So direct we have the equation E equal to BLV. We can use motional EMF here. So we want magnetic field B. So therefore B equal to E divided by L into V. Substitute the values. Induced EMF is 2 volt and length of the wire is 50 centimeter or 0.5 meter into velocity is 5 meter per second. So we can get 0.8 Tesla. So magnetic field induced in the wire is 0.8 Tesla, that is option C.
A 6-pole generator with fixed field excitation develops an EMF of 100 volt when operating at 1500 rpm. At what speed must it rotate to develop 120 volt? See here, there are two cases. In the first case, when its speed is 1500 revolution per minute, then induced EMF is how much? 100 volt. In the second case, when its speed increases, then induced EMF changes to 120 volt. So we have to calculate omega 2. See here, we have the equation E naught equal to NAB omega. We can use this equation to calculate angular velocity in the second case. So instead of E naught, I can write it as E1 for the first case, that is NAB omega 1, or B equal to E1 divided by NA omega 1. So B equal to, in the first case induced EMF is 100 divided by number of turns and area we don't know, keep as it is. Omega 1 is 1500 revolution per minute, right? So B equal to 100 divided by NA 1500. Let us take it as equation 1. This is first case. In the second case, I can write it as E2 equal to NAB omega 2. Here we want omega 2, therefore omega 2 equal to E2 divided by NAB. So omega 2 equal to induced EMF is 120 divided by NA. So in place of B, we can write equation number 1, that is 100 divided by NA into 1500. So omega 2 equal to 120 divided by, so here NA will get cancelled. So 120 divided by 100. So 1500 will go to numerator. So 120 into 1500. So omega 2 equal to 1800 revolution per minute. So that means initially angular speed is 1500 rpm. So induced EMF becomes 100. When its angular velocity is 1800 rpm, then induced EMF is increased to 120 volt. So 1800 RPM, that is option B is right. A conducting ring of radius 1 meter kept in a uniform magnetic field B of 0.01 Tesla rotates uniformly with an angular velocity of 100 radian per second with its axis of rotation perpendicular to magnetic field P. Then the maximum EMF induced in it. So we have to calculate maximum EMF. So that is E0 we have to calculate. Here a radius of that conducting ring is given, that is 1 meter, which is kept in the magnetic field of 0.01 Tesla, and its angular velocity is given omega equal to 100 radian per second. So maximum EMF induced means it is given by the equation E0 equal to NAB omega. E0 equal to N into, so here area of the conducting ring is equivalent to area of the circle. So we can write pi r square B omega, or E0 equal to, see here a conducting ring means number of turn is equal to 1, that is it is having only one turn. So E0 equal to 1 into pi into radius is again 1 square, magnetic field is 0.01 and omega is 100. So E0 equal to, we can get 10 raised to, this is 0.01 minus 2 into 10 raised to 2. That means into pi, 10 raised to 2 into pi. So we can get E0 equal to pi. So 10 raised to minus 2 plus 2 will be get cancelled. So we can get E0 equal to pi volt. So E0 equal to pi volt. It means maximum EMF induced in this conducting ring is pi volt. So that is option B. An AC generator of 220 volt having internal resistance R equal to 10 ohm and external resistance R equal to 100 ohm. What is the power developed in the external circuit? So we have to calculate power here, power developed in the external circuit. We have the equation for power P equal to I square R. So we can use this equation P equal to I square R. So before that we can note down the givens. E equal to 220 volt, internal resistance is 10 ohm, external resistance is 100 ohm. So we have to calculate power. Total resistance is R dash equal to external resistance plus internal resistance, that is 100 plus 10. So R dash equal to 110 ohm. So this is total resistance. Now according to Ohm's law, we can calculate electric current. I equal to V divided by total resistance R dash. So I equal to E divided by R dash, induced EMF. So I equal to E is 220 divided by R dash is 110. So electric current developed in the circuit is 2 ampere. Now we can calculate power. So P equal to I square R. So electric current is 2 square, that is 4, into resistance is 100. So P equal to 400 watt. So here don't write the total resistance, right? So we want only external circuit, power developed in the external circuit. So external resistance is 100 ohm. So the answer is P equal to 400 watt. So the option B is right. A generator has an EMF of 440 volt and internal resistance of 400 ohm. Its terminals are connected to a load of 4000 ohm. The voltage across the load is. So a generator EMF is given, that is 440 volt, and internal resistance is 400 ohm, and its terminals are connected to a load of resistance 4000 ohm. The voltage across the load is. So we have to calculate voltage across the load. See here, total resistance, let us write it as R dash equal to load resistance plus internal resistance. So we can get 4000 plus 400. So that is R dash equal to 4400 ohm. Now according to Ohm's law we have the equation. So that is V equal to IR or I equal to V divided by R. So that is total resistance is R dash. So I equal to, so V value is given, that is 440, or you can write it as E by R divided by 440 divided by 4400. So we can get 0.1 ampere. Now we have to calculate voltage across the load. So voltage across the load we have to calculate. Voltage across the load means we have to consider only resistance of the load. So we can write, we have the formula V equal to IR. So V equal to, so I value is 0.1 into resistance of the load we have to consider, that is 4000. 4000 into 0.1 gives 400 volt. So voltage across the load is 400 volt. That is equation, that is option D. In an AC generator, a coil with N turns, all of the same area A and the total resistance R rotates with frequency omega in a magnetic field B. The maximum value of EMF generated in the coil is, see here, in regular classes we derived maximum EMF generated in the coil, that is E naught equal to NAB omega. So if you know this equation directly we can write the answer, that is option D. If you don't know this equation, then you can use the magnetic flux equation pi equal to B dot A, or we can write it as dot product, that is BA cos theta. For n number of turns we can write NBA cos, instead of theta we can write omega t. Then induced EMF equation E equal to minus d pi by dt. Substitute the values. Minus d by dt of pi means we know number of turns n, magnetic field B, area A, cos omega t. Differentiate the values. Minus number of turns, magnetic field, area is constant, take outside, d by dt of cos omega t. So E equal to minus NBA capacities. So differentiating cos omega t, that gives minus sin omega t into omega. So minus into minus will be plus. So we can get NAB omega sin omega t. Right? So here we can write this equation as E equal to E naught sin omega t. This is instantaneous EMF, where E naught equal to, what is E naught here? NAB omega. So again the final answer is option D. Two coaxial solenoids are made by winding thin insulated wire over a pipe of cross-sectional area A equal to 10 cm square and length is 20 cm. If one of the solenoid has 300 turns and the other has 400 turns, then their mutual inductance is. See here, mutual inductance is given by the equation M equal to mu naught N1 N2 A divided by L. We can use this equation to calculate mutual inductance. So N1 and N2 is given number of turns in both the solenoid. It is given, that is 300 turns and 400 turns. Area is 10 centimeter square, or we can write 10 into 10 raised to minus 4 meter square. And length is 20 centimeter, or we can write 20 into 10 raised to minus 2 meter. Substitute all the values. M equal to mu naught is 4 pi into 10 raised to minus 7. N1 is 300. N2 is 400 into area is 10 into 10 raised to minus 4 divided by length is given, that is 20 centimeter, 20 into 10 raised to minus 2. So M equal to, we can get 2000 or 2.4 pi into 10 raised to minus 4 Henry. By calculating all these values, we got 2.4 pi into 10 raised to minus 4 Henry, that is option D. A coil is wound on a frame of rectangular cross section if all the linear dimensions of the frame are increased by a factor 2 and the number of turns per unit length of the coil remains the same. Self-inductance of the coil increases by a factor of. Here, all the linear dimensions of the frame are increased by 2. That means length and breadth are increased by a factor 2. So then what is the self-inductance of the coil? See here, self-inductance is given by the equation L equal to mu naught N square A divided by L, or we can write it as mu naught N square A into L. So here we can write it as L equal to mu naught N square is common area, means length into breadth into length of the solenoid. So L equal to mu naught N square, keep as it is. So here linear dimensions are increased by the factor 2. It means 2L, 2B into 2L. So we can get L equal to mu naught N square is constant. So we can get here it as 4. So 2 2s are 4, 4 2s are 8. So that gives 8. 8 is its linear dimension. That means L dash equal to 8 times of L. So here self-inductance of the coil increased by the factor 8. So the right option is option B. Two coils have a mutual inductance of 0.005 Henry. The current changes in the first coil according to equation I equal to I naught sin omega t, where I naught equal to 10 ampere and omega equal to 100 pi radian per second. The maximum value of EMF induced in the second coil is, mutual inductance is given, electric current is given, then maximum current is given, and also angular velocity is given. Using these values, we can calculate the maximum value of EMF induced in the second coil. See here, mutual inductance is given M equal to 0.005 Henry, and the equation for electric current is given I equal to I naught sin omega t, and the maximum current I naught is given, that is 10 ampere. Angular velocity omega is given 100 pi radian per second. So we have to calculate maximum value of EMF induced in the second coil. So we have the equation, that is E equal to minus M into di divided by dt. So this equation we can use here. E equal to minus M value is given 0.005 into d by dt of I equation is given here I naught sin omega t. So E equal to minus 0.005. So d by dt of I naught sin omega t, differentiate it here. So I naught is constant, take outside. So d by dt of sin omega t, differentiate sin omega t. So that gives minus 0.005 into I naught value is given, that is 10, into d by dt of sin omega t, that gives minus cos omega t into omega. E equal to minus 0.005 into 10 into minus cos omega t into omega value is given, that is 100 pi. or we can write it as E equal to minus into minus will be plus. So we can write it as 5 pi cos omega t, or E equal to 5 pi cos theta, because we know that omega equal to theta by t, right? So here we want maximum value of EMF. For maximum value of EMF, so theta value should be equal to 0 degree. Therefore, cos theta is 0 degree. So that means cos 0. So cos 0 will be 1. So therefore, the equation for maximum value means we can write it as E naught equal to 5 pi. So cos 0 means 1. So we can get the value 5 pi. Maximum value of EMF induced in the second coil is 5 pi, that is option B.
Figure shown below represents an area A equal to 0.5 meter square situated in a uniform magnetic field B equal to 2 Weber per meter square and making an angle of 60 degree with respect to magnetic field. The value of magnetic flux through the area would be equal to. See here, we have to calculate magnetic flux, that is given by the equation pi equal to B dot A, or we can write it as pi equal to BA cos theta. In this problem, so the value of B, A and theta is given. So magnetic field is 2 Weber per meter square, area is 0.5 meter square and having angle 60 degree. So pi equal to BA cos theta, that is 2 into 0.5 cos 60. So cos 60 will be 1 by 2. So pi equal to 2 into 0.5 into 1 by 2. So 2 will get cancelled. So pi equal to 0.5 Weber. So 0.5 Weber means option D is right. The inductance between A and D is. Observe this circuit connection. Totally there are 3 inductors. Let us take them as L1, L2 and L3. I am going to redraw the circuit connection. Observe here, the first inductor L1 is connected to point A and point D. Similarly, second inductor is connected to point D and point A. Then also, third inductor is connected to point A and point D. That indicates these 3 inductors are connected to common point A and D. That shows this given circuit is in parallel. So, I am going to redraw this inductor. Observe here, the first inductor L1 and second inductor L2 and third inductor L3. So the first inductor is connected to common point A and the second end is connected to D. Similarly, second inductor is connected to point A and D, and the third one L3 is also connected to common point A and D. That shows all the 3 inductors are connected in parallel. So the given circuit clearly shows that the inductors are in parallel. So for parallel connection, we have the equation 1 by L equal to 1 by L1 plus 1 by L2 plus 1 by L3. Substitute the value of L1, L2 and L3, that is 1 by 3 plus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 3, that gives 3 by 3. So that will be 1. So therefore, L equal to 1 Henry. So self-inductance value is 1 Henry, that is option T.